Hello, everyone, and happy Monday. How are you doing? Starting a great new week full of opportunities. I'm asking you this because today's talk is going to be extremely useful for you if you have had this habit of fighting the inevitable. And let me tell you why. I want you to start embracing your fears in business because if you don't, you have so much resistance that is actually pointless. It's like fighting the weather, fighting the wind because our mind creates fear by default. It is natural, it's normal, it's nothing wrong with that. And I encourage you to get to conquer this fear of not being able to control your emotions because let me tell you why. It is going to eventually happen in time with the proper training. And let me tell you, how can you start embracing your fears starting from today, especially in business, because it is such an important part of our life that's draining us and getting so much energy, so many resources from us that we sometimes feel like, is this my baby or what am I doing here? I'm investing so much time and energy and passion and efforts. So it's about time that you start treating your business mindset with the due respect. And here is how you do this. You get to see fear from a different perspective. You get to learn from it. This is how you get to conquer your fears rationally. The amazing question that I want you to use for yourself starting from today is, how can I focus on solutions despite being fearful? How can I focus on solutions despite being fearful? When you get to ask your mind the magic word how, you get the hook that your mind needs to focus on the positive instead of focusing on the negative and creating more fears. Has it ever happened that you got to be, let's say, at work and you got a new project and you were unsure of what the results would be. And then you started thinking, oh my God, what if I won't be able to handle this? And then some more fears came along. What if my entire colleague team is going to be very disappointed? Or what if I don't get to be the best for my clients if I don't manage this? Or what if I get fired? I have no idea what I'm doing here. And your mind starts to build one fear on top of the other one because this is how it's built. I'm going to say this one more time. It's perfectly natural and normal. However, if you want to do more, and I know you do because that's why you're here watching this live session, you need to train your mind in a very easy way just by asking yourself this wonderful, easy to put in practice question: how can I focus on solutions despite being fearful? Now, what happens in time? You get to see fear from a completely different perspective without needing to use this question anymore. Your mind will start to get automated on finding solutions when you feel fearful because it's amazing how our mind works when you give it the proper tools. Let me know in the questions below, how are you finding this topic and what are some fears in business that you have been rejecting and putting so much pressure on yourself and so much resistance that it's time to change the approach, test something new, and see how amazing it works for you. I want to tell you a short story about how I got to embrace my fears in business because I only hope that me telling you this gets to be very inspiring for you so that you can do the same or in a similar way, because it's wonderful to build a community of fearless people in business, getting to learn from each other and putting in practice the best advice that we can find out there. Now, I was very fearful to quit my job. I used to work as a manager at a multinational marketing American company, and I had a nice, pretty stable job with a kind of decent salary for Romania, where I'm now. But I kind of began to loathe more than hate what I was doing. It seemed more than boring. I did not feel stimulated anymore. I did not learn anything new. I was kind of doing click, 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 doing the same thing over and over again, like a monkey, like a robot. And I felt that, okay, some things need to change because I'm not going to spend my life doing this anymore. Well, this was me rationally, and obviously, I had all the reasons to look for another job after, let's say, a few months of not enjoying what I was doing anymore. But can you please imagine this? I was in this job for 8 years and a half, from 2010 until 2018, in the fall, and I got to be extremely miserable and fearful and very frustrated that I created some disease in my body. I got to have a heart condition at 26 years old. I had some lumps in my throat, in my breast, all sorts of awful situations for a very young person, just because I had so much frustration, so much anger fueled inside of me that I did not know how to let go of. And I was extremely fearful about so many things. I got to be fearful of what other people think. It didn't matter what I thought. I only wanted to appear a nice, perfect girl that has a nice salary and a nice position because, oh, I wouldn't want to disappoint my family. Boy, was I wrong. I was also fear of losing the pretty steady and kind of nice income that I had. I was afraid of failing. I was afraid of the unknown. I was afraid of not being enough, not being worthy, not being the best choice that people would come to if I had a business. And I could honestly go on for another 30 minutes just to tell you how many fears I had regarding business and jobs and my professional life and my finances, obviously. And this got me nowhere. I kind of got to be more than frustrated. As I told you, I had some heart condition. I had a heart condition, and I had some other health problems. And the turning point for me, and I'm telling you this because I don't want you to get to this point, was where I actually felt sick to my stomach to go to that place. I waited so much more. I maybe could have taken 3 or 4 years earlier the decision to start my own business, but I simply did not want to get help. I thought that I could handle it. I thought that, okay, I'm doing great. I need to um, hang on in this position and I'll see what I'll do next. But yeah, I kind of liked my colleagues, I liked the people, the environment there. And I got to be very dissatisfied with my entire life completely. And as I told you, I got to a point where, yep, I just couldn't take it anymore, but I still had the heart condition. How did I get to embrace so many fears? I was also afraid of living, afraid of making any decision, afraid of losing the person I was with back then. There was so much fear inside of me that I felt that I was not living my life. I was merely surviving. And this question, how can I focus on solutions despite being afraid, despite being fearful, has been the turning point for me when I began to learn from my fears. I got so many lessons and I got to see that the problems that I was looking at were not that big, not that serious, and most of the times they weren't problems anymore once I shifted the position from which I was looking at them originally. Test this, my fearless friends. Ask yourself, how can I focus on solutions despite being fearful, despite being afraid? You are going to get some amazing learnings, and make sure you only use positive words in the present tense so that your mind can start implementing them on the spot. I know you found this useful and that you will put this in practice. Let me know in the comments below how is this working for you. And if you need more guidance with fear in business, make sure you check my website roxanapope.com for the 7-step guide to permanently conquer your fears, which you can find in the description below, in the description of this live session. Use this great tool. There is an amazing visualizing bag exercise, as I call it, and get to understand how easy it is to train your mind by using the right tools at the right time. I hope you have an awesome day ahead, and I will see you tomorrow with another great live topic.